Hey people, how you doing? I hope everybody's doing fine and hunkering down and trying to get through this crisis. Anyway, I got a story for the little peoples out there, and it's okay. This one's for the children, so they can watch it. You ain't got to worry. Blah, blah, you ain't gonna say no bad things. Anyway, this story is called "Look Both Ways." Okay, and it's kind of like you can use it for homeschooling. There's this little boy. His name was Walker. And now Walker, he liked to play with his toy dinosaurs and his little trucks. And he was out in his yard playing with the truck, and he had the dinosaur driving the truck around in the mud and everything. Then his mama come out the door and she said, Walker, she said, I need you to go to this grocery store and get me a loaf of bread and a gallon of milk. And old Walker was like, he was kind of excited. He never went to the store by himself, and his mama was letting him be a big boy. And he was so excited. His mama gave him the money, and as he was running toward the woods to go to the store, his mama said, "Remember to look both ways." And he's like, "Okay, mama," and he's running, and Walker just getting on in them woods. Then pretty soon he got up to this big old tree. And Walker, he looked up that tree. He looked down the tree, and he thought to himself, and he scratched his head, and he says, Mama said, look both ways. I looked up, I looked down. No, that wasn't it. And then he just went on into the woods a little further. And pretty soon he come up to this big old pond. And he thought again about look both ways. So he looked over to one side of the pond, then he looked over to the other side of the pond, and he thought to himself, that was looking both ways. Nah, that wasn't what Mama meant. And just as he was standing there, this little fish came up and it squirt water right in Walker's eyeballs, and he was rubbing his eyes, and the fish looked at him, and that fish could talk. And that fish said, Walker, look both ways. And Walker was like, man, all these things telling me look both ways. Anyway, he got all excited and he had his money and he went on through the woods, and pretty soon he come up to the road where the convenience store was, and he was about to go out in the road, and this car come whizzing on by him, and then it hit him. It dawned on him. He knew exactly what his mama meant. So he looked to the left and he saw a car coming, so he waited and he let that car go by. Then he looked to the left again. There were no cars. He looked to the right. There were no cars. He looked to the left again, and there were no cars. And then Walker realized that's what his mama meant about look both ways. So he walked across the street, and then he got on the other side of the street, and he ran to the store, and he got in there, and he went to the man at the store. He said, I need a loaf of bread and a gallon of milk. And he was all excited. He'd give the man the money that his mama gave him. And he was so excited that he remembered look both ways, and he was a big boy and got the milk, got the bread. He went running on out that store, and he just went running up the hill to the road. He was about to step onto that road, and the man at the store yelled, Walker! He looked back at the man. The man said, you forgot your, and as he's in the middle of saying, you forgot your change, this big truck went right past Walker on the road. Walker was about to step out in that road without looking both ways. Then he realized, wow, every time you come to the road, you have to look both ways. So the man gave him his change, and Walker, he put it in his little jean pockets, and he thanked the man again. He got his milk, and he had his bread in his hands, and then he looked out on the road. He looked to the left, there were no cars. He looked to the right, there were no cars. He looked to the left again, there were no cars. Then he realized, okay, I can cross the road. So he crossed the road nice and calmly, and you never normally do that without a big person with you, but, his mama felt he was big enough to do it. So anyway, he got across the road. He went running on into the woods. He ran back to the pond. He looked for that fish. He said, I remembered. The fish was in the water and squirt water in his eye again. Walker was like, you little fish, you better stop doing that to me. And he went on and he ran home, and he was so proud. He got to that big old tree. He looked up it and he looked down it and says, I remember what to do. I remember to look both ways when I crossed the road. And he got home and he jumped up on his porch. He's like, Mommy. She come running out and said, what's the matter, boy? She says, I remembered to look both ways. And she said, that's a good boy. Now give me the milk and the bread And do I have any change? And he started giggling. He says, I was going to give the change to my toy dinosaur. Ah! Anyway, you little fellas out there and you little ladies, remember, never cross a road without your mommy or your daddy or an adult with you. But if you end up having to cross the road when they give you permission, make sure you always look both ways. You look left, then you look right, then you look left, and if there's no cars, you walk across the road and you be careful. Have a great day!